Walang karapatan o kapangyarihan ng SecGen magdesisyon tungkol dito. Ministerial ang trabaho ng SecGen. Sino mang pro-anti-VP Sara, hindi namin papakinggan. Susundan namin kung anong tinatalaga na batas. Hindi ito kakaiba. Ang tingin dapat namin dito, ordinaryong impeachment complaint lamang laban sa isang impeachable officer.
41 of them signed the impeachment complaint. Totoo ba na nabasa nila yon? At totoo bang pinaniniwalaan nila yung grounds cited in the impeachment complaint?
Well, my sense, yes, because in politics, things are planned. When it happens, there's actually planning in it. On
The last day.
they actually pressured everyone to sign. It is the shortcut.
You can collect 1/3
That's true. But
votes from
still,
the
you need
congressmen.
to refer it to the speaker for 10 days in order to include it in the order of business. I mean, if you look at the GAA, certainly he was involved in it.
Shots fired again.
Right? So again, yes, there's a plan, politically transactional, but in the long term, there's none. I think this administration went on lame duck in a very, very early.
Dadagan, Balita News Update.
At sa amin, nakapag-harvest na kami. Kakatanim lang eh. So, hindi, buti na lang yung timing, hindi yung bago aanin, nakapag-anin na tayo. So, kung okay. It's, there's a, hindi...
5,000 pesos. 5,000 pesos.
Isang milyonaryo, sama-sama tayo, babago muli na maging milyonaryo.
Right, welcome back mga kabaitaan. Heto na naman tayo, nagbabalik na naman sa ating panibagong reaction video sa panibagong araw mga kabalitaan. Sa mga hindi pa po nakapag-subscribe, subscribe na ho kayo para laging updated tayo lahat sa mga kaganapan sa ating lipunan. At babatiin ho muna natin ang ating mga moderators na walang sawang nanonood at sumusuporta ho. Lalo na po yung ating mga active na mga viewers, subscribers, yung mga regular viewers natin at saka yung team replay, matsalam ho sa inyong lahat. At sa kabuuan mga kabaitaan, meron na ho tayong 46,975 subscribers na sumusuporta sa ating munting bahay mga kabalitaan. Matsalam ho sa inyong lahat at lahat ng mga Pilipino sa mga lupalop ng ating mundo, lalo na ho yung overseas Filipino workers. Kayo po ay aming sinasaluduhan dahil kayo po ay ang bagong bayani ng Pilipinas, Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Matsalam ho sa inyong lahat. Huwag niyo pong i-skip yung ads na inyong mapapanood dahil yan po ay malaking tulong sa atin. At tulungan niyo po ako makakuha ng 50,000 subscribers bago ho yung halalan at 100,000 subscribers mga kabaitaan bago matapos ang taong 2025. At ngayon naman po mga kabaitaan, babatiin din natin pala bago tayo magsimula. Muntik ko nang makalimutan si Mommy Rose at si Daddy Birding Toby Tobias dyan sa Cebu City. Madsalam sa widescreen na pinapanood tayo nila mga kabalitaan. At ngayon po, ang ating pag-uusapan, yung paksaho natin, yung development po sa kaso ni Inday Sara Duterte, impeachment laban sa kanya, ay naninindigan pa rin sa ngayon ang Senado na hindi ho nila papansinin, hindi nila kakagatin ang mga hamuno ng nasa mayabang kapulungan na minamadali yung impeachment at nirerespeto ho yung kanilang opinion ni Senate President Chis Escudero at sila rin po ay nag-aaral o pinag-aralan itong impeachment at sinabi na ho rito na sa Hunyo 2, Hunyo 2 sila ay babalik at magsisimula ang pagtatalakay sa usaping impeachment mga kabalitaan. At malamang kakabahan na ho itong mga buhaya dyan sa mayabang kapulungan. Lalo na ho yung kanilang mga piniling House tawag nito, prosecution team or yung mga congressmen na gusto talagang patalsikin si Inday Sara Duterte. Halatang halata na ho na lumalabas na yung medyo nakikita na ho natin na meron na hong lumilipad na mga papel dyan at yung iba ay nakarma, kinarma na ho ng mga kongresista. At isa-isahin ho natin yan sila. Pag may mga balita ho tayong nakarmang kongresista, yan, bibigyan ho natin ng reaction video. Anyway, pakinggan nun natin dito si SP Chis Escudero kung ano po yung latest update ho patungkol sa usaping impeachment dahil yung topic ko natin dito ay puro ho impeachment para kay Sara Duterte para kayo po ay magiging updated kabalitaan.
Tinanggap naman na talaga namin yung verified complaint. Again, we can only make the corresponding recommendations to the impeachment court with respect to any such findings. Contrary to procedure, walang karapatan o kapangyarihan ng SecGen magdesisyon tungkol dito. Ministerial ang trabaho ng SecGen. He is simply doing his due diligence work in order to report or give a complete report to the Senate plenary. Layo naman ng talon mo. I have already said, I have no intentions of requesting the President for a special session. Hindi ito isa sa mga bagay na dahilan para magpatawag ng special session ng Senado. Dagdag po dito. Sino bang may gusto na mag-special session kami at mag-trial kami bago mag-eleksyon? Sino ba humihiling nun? Sino?
Mameme.
Yung
Sino? Sagot!
Sabi ko na, sino mang pro, anti, di namin papakinggan. Sino mang pro, anti, VP Sara, di namin papakinggan. Susundan namin kung anong tinatalaga ng batas. Pero babalik tanawan ko. Ang impeachment ni dating Ombudsman Mercy Gutierrez, 3 araw sinumite sa Senado bago kami nag-adjourn. And yet, in-schedule ang trial pagkatapos ng recess, mahigit 1 buwan mula sa araw na yon. Impeachment trial ng yumaong Chief Justice Corona, December 13 final, 1 linggo bago nag-recess ang Senado, hindi lamang 3 araw, 1 linggo. Pero hindi nag-trial ang Senado. Nag-trial matapos ang recess ng Pasko at New Year at tinawag yung pagdinig ng January na makalipas ang humigit kumulang 1 buwan. Bakit ko iibahin ang pagtrato dito sa impeachment complaint na ito?
Tama. May punto ka rin.
Hindi ito espesyal. Hindi ito kakaiba. Ang tingin dapat namin dito, ordinaryong impeachment complaint lamang laban sa isang impeachable officer. Pare-pareho lamang silang impeachable officer sa pananaw namin. Presidente man, Vice Presidente, Ombudsman, Chief Justice o ibang impeachable officer. Walang dahilan para mag-iba kami ng pagtrato dito. Baka mapagbintangan pa kami o maakusahan na iniiba ito dahil espesyal ito, dahil mas dinidiinan at minamadali namin ito. Ordinaryo lamang ang pagtrato namin dito, pinakamagandang ebidensya at batayan na kami magiging patas para dito.
Ayun, so napakagandang paliwanag ho ni Senator Chis Escudero kung saan po ay walang special sa impeachment laban kay Sara Duterte. So palpal ho yung mayabang kapulungan dito. Alam niyo po, sa nakikita ko nito kay Chis Escudero, parang binabalansin niya po, kasi parang re-electionista si Chis Escudero, binabalansin niya po yung desisyon niya dito kasi pag nagkamali ho siya, malamang malalaglag ho siya. Kaya maganda rin yung kanyang credit nito kay Inday Sara Duterte. At lalong mas mapaghandaan ho sa kanyang mga legal counsel itong darating na paglilitis sa kanya diyan sa Senate Court mga kabalitaan. So, antayin ho natin. Magandang halimbawa ito, magandang sinyalis ho ito na dire-diretso na ho yung tagumpay ho natin. Kahit wala pa pong hearing, wala pa pong pagdinig, well, nakikita, taramdam na ho natin na medyo tagilid ho sila. Kasi maraming mga eksperto nagsasabi na ito ay constitutional violation. Dahil nga po ay hindi sila sumunod sa tamang proseso pag nagpa-impeach ng isang impeachable official sa mga kabalitaan. So ngayon naman po, dadako na naman ho tayo mga kabalitaan dito ho sa ating talagang papasok na ho ito sa Senado mga kabalitaan. No? Talagang makakapasok na to. Mantakin nyo po yung kanyang proclamation rally nito nakaraan lang gabi ay umabot sa 28,000 na dumaloho sa naturang pagtitipon-tipon mga kabalitaan. So, ibig sabihin nun, may 28,000 na ho siyang pondo na boto ho para sa midterm election mga kabalitaan. Di po ba? So magandang balita, pwera pa po sa Iglesia ni Cristo ng mga miyembro ay itong pagtakbo ni Congressman Marcoleta ay talagang pangkalahatan buong Pilipinas sa Senado na eh. So lahat ng mga miyembro ng INC ay makakaboto sa kanya, mga kabalitaan. At of course, dahil nga siya ay talagang isa sa ating pinagkakatiwalaan na magiging senador at magiging kaagapay kakampi ni Sara Duterte, well, magbibigyan ko po kayo para marinig nyo po ang campaign tao nito, jingle ng ating iniidolong abogado, congressman na si Rodante Marcoleta.
Rodante Marcoleta, tunay na serbisyo, boses ng bayan, para sa Pilipino, tapang at prinsipyo, tagapagtanggol natin sa Senado. Marcoleta, ikaw ang aming kailangan. Isulong ang Magna Carta para sa mahihirap. Ang bawat Pilipino'y dapat mabigyan ng galak. Tapat sa konstitusyon, karapatan ay bantayan. Si Marcoleta ang kasama sa laban ng bayan. Rodante Marcoleta, tapang at paninindigan. Kahit anong laban, walang inuurungan. Boses ng masa, tapat na lingkod bayan. Sa Senado, ikaw ang kailangan. Hanapin si Marcoleta, number 38 sa balota. Markahan ang lider na makatotohanan, tapat matapang para sa bayan. Iaalay ang serbisyo. Sa Senado, siya ang boses ng sambayanang Pilipino. Rodante Marcoleta, tapang at paninindigan. Kahit anong laban, walang inuurungan. Boses ng masa, tapat na lingkod bayan. Sa Senado, ikaw ang kailangan. Sa laban ng katarungan, siya'y nangunguna. Sa masa'y kaagapay, palaging kasama. Tagapagtanggol ng batas, walang kinatatakutan. Marcoleta ang sandigan ng ating bayan. Rodante Marcoleta, tapang at paninindigan. Kahit anong laban, walang inuurungan. Boses ng masa, tapat na lingkod bayan. Sa Senado, ikaw ang kailangan. Rodante Marcoleta, tunay na serbisyo. Number 38 sa balota, siguraduhin iboto. Tapang at prinsipyo, tagapagtanggol ng bayan. Marcoleta, ikaw ang aming kailangan.
Yun, napakaganda yung political jingle ha? Hindi pa narinig yan ni Marcoleta, malamang mga kabalitaan. At shoutout po sa Machine Sound Waves, mga kabalitaan. At sa lahat ng mga nanonood ngayon. And 46,976 mga kabalitaan yung ating subscribers as of this moment. And now tuloy tayo dito sa pag-uusapan itong impeachment laban kay VP Sara Duterte, at meron magandang pagpapaliwanag at talagang maintindihan natin kung anong kadahilanan ba in-impeach Inday Sara Duterte dyan sa Kamara. Ano bang rason? Paano ba na ginagawa? Ito ba hindi labag sa batas ng ating konstitusyon? Heto, panoorin pakinggan ho natin dito si Marcoleta.
We would just like to ask you po muna, no, take your reaction doon sa recent impeachment complaint or impeachment process na ginawa ng House of Representatives against Vice President Sara Duterte. Based on your knowledge, ano ba yung nangyari? Meron po ba talagang nagtulak? May naglobby ng mga signatures ng ibang mga congressmen?
Hindi pa naman yun halatang-halata eh.
Yes, Kong. But based on your knowledge?
Bakit naman ita-transmit nila the very day that we will adjourn Congress?
Right. But as
what does that signal? Ano ang gusto nila palabasin? What were they trying to prove?
Yeah, base po sa inyong knowledge pa rin po, no? Sino po ba yung nakita niyo po talagang nagtulak nitong impeachment complaint na ito, itong fourth impeachment complaint? Lahat
naman ng action na nangyayari doon comes from the leadership. Wala namang isang tao doon na magpapanukala. Tingnan po ninyo yung mga naunang tatlo, hindi man lang nila ginalaw, wala man lang na-refer sa Justice Committee, which is also one of the rules, no? Paano? Alam nila kapag sa Committee on Justice nila pinalabas yun, magtatagal yun because there will be determination of form and determination of substance. Ngayon, iniisip nila, on the last day siguro, I do not know what they were trying to prove there. Pero, tinransmit nila at the very day that Congress will be adjourned. Alam nilang wala ng time, di ba? Because at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the Senate already moved for adjournment.
Right.
So, ano sinabi ng Senate President? Tatalakayin on June 2. Is there a time? Wala na, di ba?
Kung alam po natin ang Mindanao ay baluarte ng mga Duterte, para base po doon sa mga pumirma nitong impeachment complaint against VP Sara, 41 out of 60 na lawmakers po na mula po sa Mindanao region ang nag-back nitong impeachment complaint na ito. What are your thoughts on that?
Dapat siguro sila yung tinanong natin, di ba? 41 of them signed the impeachment complaint. Totoo ba na nabasa nila yon? At totoo bang pinaniniwalaan nila yung grounds cited in the impeachment complaint? Ba kasi pagkatotohanan na, tinanong mo sila kung talagang alam nila yon. Because when they signed that, meron silang pinanagutan na, meron silang sinumpaan doon. They subscribe to the truthfulness of the document attached to the complaint based on their own personal information. Baka isa man sa kanila, walang makasagot kung alam nila talaga yung mga dokumento behind the impeachment complaint.
Right. Pero kayo po, Kong, do you believe po that President Marcos has no hand in the impeachment of VP Sara? Tulad po nung kanya pong nasabi na, kahit na po na number 1 nga po na pumirma, unang-una sa listahan, itong si Congressman Sandro Marcos.
I still want to believe that. Kasi sinabi niya yun eh. You remember about several weeks ago, sinabi niya, this is a tempest in a teapot. It's a storm in a teapot. It is nothing. It will serve nothing. It will not even contribute to the benefit of even one life of a Filipino. I don't think the President will say that. It did not come from his heart. Ang problema, yung salita niya na yun, ay hindi naman dininig ng mga kinauukulan.
At lilipat naman ho tayo dito kay Ma'am Malu Tiquia. Na naniniwala ho si Madam Malu Tiquia na ang impeachment ito ay talagang may basbas din ni President Bongbong Marcos sa mga kabalitaan. At sinabi dito na ito ay sigurado alam na dahil gusto nga nilang patalsikin si Inday Sara Duterte at ayaw nilang maging presidente. Baka itong si Tambalustos ay gusto talaga maging presidente. Kaya pinipilit nila kahit mali na yung kanilang ginagawang pag-impeach si Inday Sara Duterte, unconstitutional na nga, ay tinutuloy pa rin nila. Kaya ngayon, tagilid sila dyan sa Senado, mga kabalitaan. So heto, pakinggan natin si Ma'am Malu Tiquia sa kanyang pagpapaliwanag.
Well, it is one day before the official kickoff of the national campaign period, and we are in the midst of a complex political climate, the midterms coming up, but also an impeachment complaint in tow. That's why we invited both of you to help us, sink that in.
Or attempt to make sense
of
this
make sense of the whole situation, right? This impeachment complaint was in the House for almost about 2 months.
Yeah,
and then
over 3 years?
Yeah.
2023, they already started with it.
Well, the official filing was
like
October,
4 months.
I think. Yeah, October. Since October.
And in the past week, it was a whirlwind, right? It just was sped up and sent over to the Senate. And I want to get your thoughts on what happened here. What caused the change of mind? Was there anything in particular, or to be more specific about my question, was the president, do you think, behind it?
Well, my sense, yes, because in politics, things are planned. when it happens, there's actually planning in it. The son signed as number one, and that the bookend was the speaker at 215 tells a lot. My only worry there is that they sat on it for 3 months with the 3 impeachment, and then suddenly they came up with the 4th impeachment, which actually violated the rules. So I don't know how they will be able to explain that when they transmitted it to the Senate. It was just a certification, and the articles of impeachment was not included. The
why
articles of
did they violate the
impeachment came out as a press release. They violated the rules because the 4th impeachment should have been referred to the Speaker, and the Speaker has 10 days to include it in the order of business. That was not done. What was done was on
The last day.
the last day, they actually pressured everyone to sign. And that signing, it was not referred to the Speaker. It was not included in the order of business. What was included was the 213 votes, and it was informed in the House.
But isn't this the shortcut version?
It is the shortcut.
You can collect 1/3
That's true.
votes
But
from
still,
the
you
congressman.
need to refer it to the Speaker for 10 days in order to include it in the order of business. If you notice, Gretchen, there was no explanation of vote on the 1/3, right? And that they referred it on the last day, which the Senate cannot act on it because there is no plenary already. You have to understand that legislative bodies operate on the plenary, not individual members or committees. The plenary has to act on it before anything happens. So when they transmitted it to the Senate, it was like almost 5 p.m.
Yeah, for about
So,
4:15.
yeah, so what is the Senate supposed to do? Even if the Constitution says it should be immediately tackled, the fact of the matter is there is no plenary. There is no session already.
Actually, the Senate adjourned earlier than its calendar. Wednesday pa lang, although they had Thursday and Friday, they adjourned earlier. There are options, and we'll talk about that later. I want to know what you heard.
Even then, well, first, that's still a point of contention, whether the Senate, I mean, the word forthwith is the contentious word being bandied about. But to your question, Gretchen, although our Philippine democracy operates on 3 co-equal branches of government, I think we know from past experience, from decades of watching this political drama, we know that the executive pretty much has the driver's wheel in terms of controlling events, especially for a majority-dominated House. So does the President ostensibly have his fingerprints on this impeachment? Probably not. If you wanted to be technical about it, he has made pronouncements saying that, I'm agnostic. I don't want to disturb matters of government business in terms of addressing poverty and whatnot. This is on the back seat. But perhaps those in the know will
Actually, ang
take that
sabi
with a
niya,
grain of salt.
kasi nagkaroon ng press conference nung after nitong ma-declare, ang sabi ni Presidente is parang masyado naman yata tayong believe sa kanya na wala naman siya pakialam doon. He isn't as powerful as people make him out to be. He's given too much credit. And from this point on, he will just be a very interested observer.
Maybe a little self-deprecation on the
I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the GAA, certainly he was involved in it.
Shots fired again.
Right? So again, I don't see it to
Cannonballs are
be
flying
such.
this way.
But I do remember back in November, after the presser or the Zoom conference of Vice President Sara Duterte, si PBBM, meron siyang statement, may video siya eh. At ang sinabi niya, pursuing the impeachment is a storm in a teacup.
He sure did say
It's a
that,
waste
yeah.
of time.
Yeah.
And biglang nalito lahat, yung mga congressmen. Anong gagawin? Tutuloy ba? Hindi. I mean, yun ang tanong ko. What changed here?
And, and until now, just to be fair, until now, he's still officially, the official stand is he is an observer. He cannot directly intervene. By the way, the Constitution prohibits that in the first place. So what changed? I'm not sure if, and I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I think this fits into a long-term strategy. What's happening here is something known as political kneecapping, which I'm sure Malu has vast experience in.
What does that mean? Help us understand
You're a volleyball player. You should know what kneecapping is.
When you kneecap your opponent, and the best time is you give your opponent the optimal length of time before you do any such kneecapping, so that their so-called recovery period, think about it like a kneecap injury, is lessened. So you wait until the last minute.
Then we're left in an awkward situation.
They meaning?
I mean, everybody's left in an awkward situation, whether or not to do the special session in the Senate, whether this will be tackled during that special session, or if this will be tackled right after the midterm
So
elections.
it tells you what's wrong with this administration. There is no plan. They plan politically.
But then he said
in
it
the
was a
long
plan.
term, yes, there's a plan, politically, transactional, but in the long term, there's none. They are subjected to the winds and the caprices of so many players. Very important to see that we are going into elections, to campaign period, and when you file an impeachment, that kind of makes the ground very difficult to read. You are administration, you control the levers of power,
Correct.
and yet you throw this impeachment there. So it gravitates certain voter segments to really define their position. One of which are the Dutertes. I think it's very clear that the impeachment is a way to kneecap the Dutertes, whether for 2028 which is beyond, or between the years 2025 to 28. My problem there is the reading of this administration in terms of lame duck. I think this administration went on lame duck in a very, very early period when they did the PhilHealth, when they did the budget, when they did the impeachment. Those are cards thrown on the table that would, suddenly have a different impact, which they failed to measure. So when you go to the ground, people are angry. There is protest vote in terms of the PhilHealth and the GAA. Remember, it will be subject to the Supreme Court oral hearings. So this will add up to the percolation that is happening. And I think that misinformed, misreading of the situation would be to the advantage of the opposition. The problem with the opposition, PDP has not claimed to be the opposition.
Yes.
That is a big problem.
Well, just to take a contrarian point of view, one could also argue that there is great one-upmanship happening also to precisely.
Yes, exactly, no. Nalilito nga pala tayo kung sino talaga yung opposition because ang PDP ay ni isa sa kanila wala man nagsabi na sila ay opposition at still sila pa rin niya sa administration. Kumbaga si Sara Duterte hindi din nagsabi na opposition sila kasi si Sara is still a under the administration of Marcos bilang vice presidente. So that's the big question now kung sino talaga yung opposition dito. Kasi wala hong matuturo. Hindi natin matuturo kung si Tatay Digong ay opposition o hindi. O sino. Pero sila lang yung nagsasalita patungkol dito sa administrasyong ito, mga kabalitaan.
Sway attention away from
all of those,
GAA
right?
and the PhilHealth. Suddenly they throw this
because some would say
wrench,
some would say that it might have been the reason why this was pursued because of the issues over the budget.
Correct. I mean the pillars of communication don't change. There's only avert, attack, and applaud. You're attacking, you're applauding your candidate, and you're averting issues away from.
What is your sense over the Senate? Over the weekend, several senators made different statements. Like, for example, Chis Escudero says there is no rush, no need to rush this. This will be tackled in proper time. The focus is on giving justice to the whole situation. On the other hand, we have Senator Coco Pimentel saying that there are bills that still need to be tackled and that could happen in a special session at hindi raw forthwith kung mag-aantay pa ng more than 3 months, no? Dahil ang nasa konstitusyon natin, dapat pagkapasa sa Senado, forthwith the Senate shall forthwith proceed. What is your read on the Senate?
Well, right now, I think the Senate is trying to, and I just smiled at somebody who waved at me. Sorry about that. The Senate, I think, right now are really on ice, meaning to say they are standing on shaky ground. And if I were a senator, if I was a sitting senator, especially if I was running for re-election, I would want to push this under the rug as far as I could. Because, again, the dynamics of a Senate election are the political calculus when you're running for a Senate is that 70% of your votes will come from retail votes or free market votes and only 30% from machinery at the Senate level. So you're thinking, I'm going to end up alienating the Duterte votes, the Iglesia votes. Maybe this isn't the best thing for me to be voting on right now. Maybe let me run away from this as far as I can and try to remain as vanilla in a Switzerland as possible. So they're in a tenuous spot.
Especially after the show of power over at the INC rally, right? And how about you? Wouldn't it be something, couldn't it be a bastion of power if they actually use this platform, if they had the impeachment trial during the midterm elections, somehow to change things on the ground if things were not in your favor as a re-electionist?
It's going to be very hard to have an impeachment during the campaign. That's one. Why? Because impeachment is very political. And to a certain degree, you will right away be graded or evaluated by voters based on what you do during the impeachment. And you're talking of 12, 7 of which are running for re-election and 5 are retiring.
Correct.
So those things need to be factored in. My sense, the pressure is on the Senate, but I'm thankful that Senate President Escudero rose up to the challenge and really said, if you call a special session refers to bills, not to impeachment. And forthwith in the Constitution did not take into consideration that it was going to be an adjournment. An adjournment in legislation means everything stops unless the chamber authorizes the committees to continue with their work. But that does not cover impeachment. That does not cover plenary. Yun yung hindi naiintindihan ng mga tao. Ang plenary is where decisions are made. Plenary would mean all of them present.
They need a session to convene themselves as an impeachment court.
Well, that's one. And that is plenary. Second is the adoption of rules, which is plenary. Because the Senate, I don't think they have updated the rules on impeachment. And then third, an agreement on the calendar on when the impeachment court will meet. So I was so Well, I was so surprised that the House immediately named their prosecutors without waiting for the Senate to convene as a court. The tradition has been let the Senate convene, and from that time, they send a transmittal to the House saying, we have transmitted and please name your prosecutors. Dito talagang plinansya eh. So magugulat ka, anong agenda? Ang agenda ba to make it a political issue, which is a wrong reading?
With your indulgence, Gretchen, I hope you don't mind. I'm curious though, why are the pro-Duterte supporters, why do they seem to be supporting a prolonged or a delayed trial, Senate trial, when in fact, would you say that it would benefit the administration if the new senators can...
I do not even agree that the new Senate, the 20th Senate
can,
has, yes,
even
because that's a new constitution already.
And non-legislative, right?
Yes, yes. So the problem there, tactically, the one-year ban.
Yeah, in Congress.
In Congress.
In Congress. There's a one-year ban in Congress. But the Senate actually...
But you cannot start another one.
Well, Justice Carpio, at least for his... Well, he believes that the 20th can...
crossover.
Yes.
Right, so yun po mga kapitan ang kanilang diskusyon patungkol ho sa impeachment ni Sara Duterte at sinabi naman ho dito ni Malutikia na ito ay talagang planchado ang lahat dahil nga yung pag-endorse ho nila, pag-transmit ho nila sa impeachment laban kay Sara Duterte patungong Senado ay hindi ho nila representa yung kanilang prosecutors at the same time yung article of impeachment. So, hindi malaman-laman kung ano yung article of impeachment at sino-sino yung mga prosecutors mula sa Kamara. So, diyan pa lang ho, nagkakaroon na ng problema at ito'y unconstitutional mga kabalitaan. Kaya, hintay-hintayin natin kung ano pa po yung mga mangyayari o ano pa po yung mga impormasyon na dapat nating malaman dahil alam po natin na itong impeachment ay talagang wala ho itong patutunguhan na maganda. Ibig natin sabihin, ito ay talagang mababasura lamang ito mga kabaitaan. Kaya take it easy lang mga kabaitaan dahil patuloy ho tayong magbibigay ho sa inyo ng sapat na impormasyon para kayo ay hindi na kakabahan sa pangyayaring ito kabalitaan. Huwag niyo pong kalimutan, mag-comment na ho kayo, mag-like, share, i-share niyo po yung video at subscribe. Then pindutin ang notification bell kabalitaan. So dito ho tayo nagtapos at maraming salamat. Sana po nagustuhan niyo po itong video presentation. Medyo seryoso ho tayo dito pero at least maliwanag na ho. Maliwanag pa sa sikat ng araw na may laban ho si Inday Sara Duterte mga kabalitaan. Dahil po sinasabi ni Malutikia at sinasabi naman ni Congressman Marcoleta na ang impeachment nito ay talagang totoo ho na may kinalaman si Bongit dito. Hindi ho siya marunong mag-isip, mag-desisyon kung anong gustong gagawin. Mas magaling ho siya mag-desisyon pag pamumulitika. Ngayon ito ay pamumulitika ho ang impeachment ni Inday Sara Duterte. At siya po talaga ang may pakanahon nito, hugas kamay, Poncio Pilato, ika nga. Kaya kung desisyon ang pagbabasihan natin sa ating Pangulo, wala ho itong magandang desisyon may bibigay ho kung usapan pang-ekonomiya. Pero pag usapang politika, ay naku po, eksperto ho yan sa ganyan si Bongit mga kabalitaan.
Anong gagawin natin? Tanong ng Pangulo habang baha ay umakyat sa bubong ng mga bahay. Habala sa mesa, nag-aabang ng planong ngunit sa tunay na mundo kami lunod na. Naguguluhan, tila di handa kahit ilang beses nang nadala. Sa bawat delubyo, walang natutunan, parang ulan na laging nabigla. Anong gagawin natin? Sa gitna ng unos, akalang mag-iisip. Anong gagawin natin? Bayan tinitingala pero nagigipit. Anong gagawin natin? Di ba tayo nangakong laging handa? Anong gagawin natin? Kung kami laging namumulila. Sa mga baryo di kami umaasa. Pamilyas lang di lumalakas ang agos ng luha. Pinapanood ang bagyong dumaraan habang sila'y nagbibilang ng sasabihin bukas. Ang ulang bumuhos tulang naglaho. Mga tao nagtanong saan ang gobyerno. Para bang tayo'y naiwan sa dilim. Tanging pangako ang dumaang walang hangin. Anong gagawin natin? Para bang di na natuto sa nakaraan? Anong gagawin natin? Laging huli sa kalang nagmamadalian. Anong gagawin natin? Habang kami nalunod, nangako ba? Anong gagawin natin? Di raw mauulit pero eto pa. Sabi handa, di na raw mauulit. Ngunit dito pa rin kami iniiwan sa paligid. Parang ilog na walang nasasagip. Tulak sa likod, walang humihigit. Saan ang pangako? Saan ang malasakit? Tila kwentong binulong sa dilim ng gabing malamig. Lahat abala, nagbibilang ng boto. Pero sa baha, walang bangkang dala o layo. Sa politika, abala ang bawat pangarap habang kami binabaha. Sa gutom na uutak, inaasahan ng bayan. Ngunit laging kulang prioridad nila. Di kayang pagbigyan. Paano kaya kung sa kanya nangyari? Baka siya rin ang natanong, magtakat mabilang uli. Dapat sana na'y handa ang bawat bayan. Di na sana tayo humihingi ng tulungan. Ngunit sa bawat sakuna, laging may tanong, anong gagawin natin hanggang sa dulo ng panahon? Anong gagawin natin? Anong nakailalim? Iniwan kami sa alon ng bagyong magaling. Anong gagawin natin? Anong nakailalim? Iniwan kami sa alon ng bagyong magaling.
Alright, yun po ang ating programa ho. Doon ho nagtapos yung ating reaction video. Matsalam nga po pala sa 46,978 subscribers. Mabuhay ho tayong lahat at sana po ay nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan. Matsalam din sa mga silent viewers ho natin, mga kabaitan. Alright, sa Team Replay at of course mga moderators, at the same time yung mga aktibo ho na laging nanonood na mga kabalitaan. So tayo po ay tapos na ho sa pagbibigay ng mga impormasyon, balitaan at komprehensibo na mga pangyayari ho sa ating lipunan at balitaan patungkol sa politika. Anyway, sana ho, manalangin ho tayong lahat na sana nasa mabuti tayong kalagayan at ipanalangin ho natin yung mga senatoriables ng PDP Laban na sila ay magwagi, manalo sa darating ng kanilang karera sa halalan na midterm elections 2025. Kaya ako po'y magpapaalam na po. Matsalam ho sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay ho tayo. To God be the glory. Mwah! Chip chip. Mwah! Peace out.